Hi everyone. I would like to continue the story we have having last time to now. To continue that story, last time we talked about Noah's family, especially his father, and I illustrate that how his life being blessed by God. First, he absolutely have his radio tuning very well with God, so that he even know before the flood came, he already know that the Lord already cursed the land. And then with such a father, and Lois is obviously follow his father and also working with God. All right, I will explain this a little bit more. And he took few hundred years to build the ark. As I said, that when the flood came, he and his son should have built the ark already, but should have more time to pitching the message around the people. What interesting fact, the perfect plan for the Noah's father is that his father died after the flood. So essentially, the Noah's father have a wonderful life by having a Noah follow God, and also with his grandchildren, even with the grandchildren wives, and will avoid the flood also. So it would be the wonderful plan for someone who been through that generation. Now let's continue to on this journey and to understand a little bit more about this, that how this related to our life. All right. So obviously the flood, the disaster is not good. No one like it. All right, because someone get hurt, and as I said, right, using the analogy in the past that I was going to review that later. The key point here is the but. All right, the message here, I highlight this, put it here so that we can see it more clearly. That the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race. All right, and And last time I point out that the key point, all right, the one important word is this, the but. So the but here make a big change of this whole message, that God didn't really wipe up the human race completely, because he lived lower alone. So this but, essentially last time I explained, it means the exit. So this is the hope. Whatever in whatever situation, happy time, unhappy time, God always gives us an exit. So this is the hope that we all talk about, especially about the Bible faith. All right, I don't care whether you're Christian, Jewish, Catholic, or whoever who believe in the Bible. This is what the Bible say. All right. So when this but essentially means exit. So always, in whatever dire situation, God always gives us an exit. No doubt about it. And this has been repeating in the history. So I hope that this give us a little comfort, especially in this kind of a dire situation today. Okay, so all right, and now why don't we just go deeper, all right, into this word but, and let it dive into it and see what else we can find out from that but. All right, so looking at the back to the Bible, let's see what else this come up from that is. Now right after, right, the but, all right, the but, and right after there's a little text here. All right, little text here. So this is an account of the Noah and his family. And then Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God Noah had 3 sons, Sam, Ham, and Japheth. And here, starting from verse 11, is a bunch of the description that God described the situation. So you may see that this part, all right, this part is one unit by itself, all right? It's almost like an introduction. So here's the Noah and his family, is the Noah and his family. So you see that this, even one verse here that actually they are related, all right? And now let's, if you like a magnifying glass and looking at this text, to come here and then take a look at this, all right? This is the kind of the Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and walked faithfully with God. Now, this is the text that we are going to use today, and I hope that today I can bring you into another level of understanding. All right, so let's start with something that we reviewed before. Okay, because we have been quite a journey. I think like 3-4 weeks already. I have introduced a few concepts, which is fairly important to help us to decipher the Bible text. All right, so let's start with remember one time we talked about the orange. All right, and also the seed. I hope that you remember that metaphor, the orange and the seed, and the radio, and the messages. And also have a garden. And also we have a tour guide and a visitor. These are all the tools that we need to decipher that text that I just showing a little bit earlier ago. All right. So if I use an icon, so all right, this is orange. All right. And radio, we can use a Wi-Fi symbol. All right, the garden is like the globe, and we have the tour guide, and also we have you as a visitor. All right, and I hope that this little icon will help us to understand the Bible text easier. All right, so let's get back to the Bible text. How do we get the favor? Another word here is that favor. Right? Now this but is because Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. So, well, this favor, how do we get the favor? Well, for example, if we get the favor, that means we might be, getting the but from everything happen, the bad thing happened outside, and so that we have the exit. So how do we get the favor? All right, okay. So this is the point to continue with the journey. This time we talk about the favor, how we get the favor. All right, and this is the continued text. Remember, and then now we have lower and with this the text behind. Now. Here I bring you deeper into the to the text. So in order to get the favor, all right, like a smell or taste or something, all right, please take a close look at these few words. Like last time, I asked you to find critical word in amongst that text. Here, well, this is more than one word, but it has a structure. I already cut it off, almost like an orange. All right, I cut in pieces. You can pause the video and take some time to read this text. All right, and see whether you find something I'm going to talk about. All right, now you can pause it and take whatever time you want, and you come back, and I'm going to further to discuss this. All right. Now, the reason why I asked you to read this text yourself, here's the orange, we have the radio, and also we have the tour guide and yourself and the garden. All right. So I hope the tools that I'm going to use is ask you to look at this text as an orange. Okay, if you see this whole text is like orange, what is the key point behind this? All right, now orange, right? What constitute a orange is the seed, right? The seed in the orange. So if this is the text, what is the central theme of the orange? Obviously, it's talk about Noah is a righteous man. All right, and this word, okay, is difficult to decipher because first of all, due to the translation from the Hebrew translated to the Greek, and from the Greek and translated into English. All right, and now this word English called righteous, and what does it really mean in the really ancient text? Well, you know, it's not right like how you understand. Oh, is a good man? Is it something that everything he do is right? That means the righteous man? Well, because this is the English word today may not be, but we can take it for now, and then we can understand a little bit more about this. All right, and now interesting, the structure tell us that actually this righteous man is blameless among the people of his time. Now these two are related. All right, so now we know that blameless among the people of his time. And one more thing, right? The end, he walked faithfully with God. So these two combined together, okay, essentially describe what is the righteous, what really means. For example, today, assuming today, if you are the blameless people, okay, among the people in your country or your city or your region, then okay, and right, and also walk faithfully with God, well, then you are the righteous man. Okay. Now we, at least at this stage, we from the orange, right? We take off the peel, right? The peel of the orange, and now we see something like that. Now let's get deeper, all right, into the text. All right. Interesting. If you pay attention, it's the blameless among the people. All right. Now, if the Bible didn't put this word, all right, put this word, just the blameless living in here. Well, you can say that, oh, it's a righteous man, blameless, and he walked faithfully with God. No, the Bible didn't say that. The Bible say that the blameless is among the people of his time. Now, besides, this is of their own people and his time. I think if we get to this point now, I hope that we have a little reflection about whether we blame on other people before. I know that right now we have a lot of leaders doing many things. You know, some people seeing it's a good thing. Some people seeing as a bad thing. But are you in his shoes, doing the thing of his time? He may not be the righteous person or the good person from your eye, but at least, okay, he is blameless among the people of his time. So, well, it's all relative. You don't have an absolute judgment on someone who does something seems to be wrong. All right. So here is the blameless among the people, which is the relative. Well, what that means is lower according to the today's standard, he may not be blameless. All right. But of his time, he is blameless. And also among the people who living with him, he is blameless. So it's relative. So if this is a relative, then, well, unless you in somebody else's shoes, then you can hardly say that he is blameless or not. Sorry about that. I hope that this is one of the very important Bible truth that we need to be careful. All right, it's relative to the people and his time. Now, if you're looking at the Bible more deeply, is that here is the explanation starting from 11. God started to complain about, wow, these guys are all full of violence, so the corrupted the earth, right? All that. And for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. Corrupted their ways. Look at the word there. The word doesn't say God. So God didn't put his own standard on these people. God put these people on their own standard. Think about it. If someone who corrupted, how corrupted their way could be? I'm pretty sure that just two people, all right? You can corrupt the other person by, lying and by, taking other people advantages and all that. And because one person did this to the others, and the others do the same thing to them, and then now, become a vicious cycle. So this is how the world roughly being corrupted, all right? When the sin entered the earth, and the people started to do this against each other, and then now the whole generation get corrupted, except one person, right? But Noah is found the favor, all right? Find the favor in the eyes of the Lord. He didn't play back. All right. Okay, now let's get back to the text a little bit more. All right. So now do you see that? Now I opened the orange a little bit more, and now starting to find the seed. All right. I hope that you find the seed. Okay. Peel the skin, take the meat out, and then find the seed. He walked faithfully with God. This every word means something, but look at this word. Faithful, this word again is the English, and faithful in today's meaning means, well, you not cheating, right? You faithfully do something. Yeah, it carries certain meaning of this faithfully. But this require us to take even longer to decipher, all right? Decipher this word, all right? To understand what is the faith with God. And also he walked faithfully with God. Now, just based on this, on the surface, okay? Doesn't need to go too deep into it. Now, using our analogy, all right? Using the garden analogy, he obviously, and with the radio and orange now, you should understand this fairly easily, is that his radio is working with the tour guide so that he follow the tour guide and explore the world. This is Noah. The radio is working. He is working with the tour guide, and here is the earth, the garden. Understand? So his father already have the radio working all the time. So now let me decipher something that I asked you to do. I hope that you've done this before. Is, do you see all this while you pausing the video? And do you find all this fact out from the text? If your radio is working, we should be able to find all this without me explaining this to you. Today, I illustrate how we tune our radio. All right. Reading the Bible text is extremely important to fine-tune our radio. If we have this radio working, you don't need me here. You will understand this text without any explanation. Of course, these are some cultural differences because this word already changed slightly. But even at the surface, with this analogy that I make, you should be able to find out at least the structure and the sum of this interaction. So now, if we looking at this as an orange, what will be the keyword that you will go even deeper into? we need to understand this a little bit more. This is the reason why God found favor of lower. It was because the lower is the more faithfully walking with God all his life. Essentially, his radio is working perfectly, and he know that whatever God asks him to do is the best for himself, his family, and other people. So this is no doubt, if he get the message from God, he would do it right away. In the same way today, if we get the message from God today, we should do it for sake of ourselves, for sake of our family, and for sake of others. Okay, today our sharing is up to this point. Okay, hopefully you get something that to be being encouraged, especially at this time. The world is all upside down, and how we find the favor of God is to faithfully walk with God. And next time I'm going to talk about what this word really means and how to get the favor from God. Okay, see you next time.